What's up, Freedom Gorillas? They have the Primary Arms HTX-1. This was one of the optics I was most excited to see at this year's SHOT Show. It has a lot going on for it. Not only is it designed and assembled in the United States, all the parts are also sourced domestically. It has this unique chassis system which gives it the best co-witness availability, and it has Primary Arms ACSS Vulcan Reticle. So in today's video, we're going to talk about everything that makes this optic unique. I'm going to do an unboxing, we're going to show you how to install it, and we're going to compare it to other popular competitors on the market. And before we get started, everything on today's video can be found at freedomgorilla.com. So I want to start off by talking about one of the things I think makes this optic the most unique, and Primary Arms definitely put a lot of thought and energy behind into it. It is totally sourced and assembled and designed. Everything is 100% made in the United States, which is very cool. There are obviously other optics that are made in the US, but some of their parts are sourced overseas. So this is just totally designed, assembled, manufactured, like sourced. Everything here is in the United States, and it's actually built in Houston, Texas. Now, I know when I mentioned all of that in my SHOT Show video, I did have a lot of comments saying they didn't necessarily care where it's made. They just want a high performing optic. And listen, I totally get that and can respect that, but this is very unique for this optic. So I just wanted to mention that. And for it being totally sourced and assembled and designed in the United States, that should give us better quality control on these units. That should give Primary Arms a faster feedback loop to make any improvements needed. And then Primary Arms has an awesome customer service team that's totally based in the United States as well. So doing any type of warranty claims should be easier. And then on the flip side, whenever I mention optics that are made overseas, I do get a lot of comments that are saying like they would never support China and all of that. So listen, I get there's a lot of duality of people's opinions. If this being sourced and designed and assembled in the United States is something that is of value to you, that could definitely be a value add to this optic and a reason why you'd want to get it. All right, let's run through some high-level stats on this optic. First, the body is a 775 T6 aluminum housing. The plates it comes with are steel plates. It has an auto live feature. It has Primary Arms red dot bright, so you're able to see this in the brightest environments. It has 3 night vision settings. It has a 20,000 hour battery life with a side loading battery tray. It has a lifetime warranty on this. It has the ACSS Vulcan Reticle on this, which is a dotted 240 MOA outer ring with a 4 MOA dot, and you're able to toggle between those two options. And for the reticles, it only comes in a red reticle right now. Green would be awesome, but right now it's just red. And then there's also a just a 4 MOA dot version only, which will save you a couple bucks. Now, one of the standout features of this optic, and probably like my most favorite feature on this, and the whole reason I'm excited about it, is it does have an insanely low co-witness that allows you to co-witness with standard height iron sights on Glocks, which might not sound revolutionary until you realize how few optics actually can do this. It's basically like the Holosun SCS MOS. And even the Aimpoint COA collaboration, which claims to have like a co-witness, like this blows it out of the water, and I'll show a comparison to that. So that ultra low mounting height allows you to keep your OEM irons and gives you that perfect co-witness, which makes it more accessible and less expensive to integrate this into like a carry setup, for example. And I just want to show a window size comparison to other popular optics. Like here's the Primary Arms, here's the SCS MOS, so you can see a window size there. I do think the Primary Arms is obviously like larger for a window size. And let's compare that to some other popular ones too. Here's the 507C. Again, the Primary Arms has a larger window. 508T, which is like more squared off. This is kind of like the most accurate as far as like comparable. And here is the 509. Again, pretty comparable, but overall, I think that the Primary Arms is bigger, just slightly. And let's talk about the reticle itself. So there's 2 variations you could get. There's the ACSS Vulcan or just the 4 MOA only. The ACSS Vulcan reticle has a dotted 240 outer ring with a 4 MOA dot, and you're able to toggle that on and off if you want to just keep the 4 MOA dot. So the ACSS Vulcan reticle is probably like the coolest reticle I've seen on red dots. It's unique to Primary Arms. It's like their style reticle. But it's extremely popular. It's very similar to what we see in the Holosun 507K ACSS in the sense that's a 3 MOA dot, this is a 4 MOA dot, but it does act like an aim assist, which is perfect for new shooters. So you're not supposed to see that outer ring at all. If you do see it, then that just means you have to adjust until you see just the 4 MOA dot in the window. So again, the whole purpose of it is to help you find the dot as quick as possible and to get on target as quick as possible, especially like under stress. So it's definitely something that's very popular. A lot of new people like it, especially people who have a hard time finding the dot. And again, like this could be awesome for like law enforcement when they're under stress and they need to find the dot as quick as possible. All right, so first thing I wanted to show you is the unboxing. So here's the box it comes in. Very nice hard case, cool cord here. Let's open it up and see what's inside. All right, we got the optics manual. Perfect. We'll go over this in the video and tell you any information you need. This is a quick start guide. So this is how you're going to install the plate to the slide and the optic to the plate. We obviously have the optic itself, which we'll get a lot of video of and we'll show you. There we go. Looks like a battery tool tray, so the battery would be on this side. Okay, that's how that works. And it looks like you're going to use this tool for the windage and elevation. Okay, cool. 2 Torx wrenches to install these screws. This one looks like it's T10. This one looks like it's T15. Which, yep, T10, T15. And lastly, we have the plates and the screws. So what you will see here, and we'll cover this, depending on the slide you have, is depending on what plate and what screw combo you use. So the color bags match the specific slides. Okay. That's everything in the box. So in this section, I really want to cover the whole chassis system and how to install the plate to the slide. So Primary Arms thought of literally everything you could possibly want for this. They have the MOS plate, the RMR A, and RMR B. We'll cover what those are in a second. But this whole chassis design system definitely opens up the opportunity to do other popular platforms like the PDP or VP9, for example. Let's just see if they come out with them. But for this, they give the MOS, RMR A, RMR B. And I have all of these here. I'm going to show you what each means. So as you can see on the instructions, it's color coded, yellow, blue, green, and we have yellow, blue, green to correspond to the matching slide. Now they also thought of the color bag for the screws, so there's no confusion there. If you're installing it on the Glock MOS, you can use the yellow with the yellow screws. Same thing with the different options for the RMR. All right, so let's go through what each looks like. This is obviously the Glock MOS slide. Here's the plate, and that's going to sit right there, and they're going to use the 2 screws to install this. Now looking at the RMR Type A, there's no raised ZEV post right here. It's just an RMR cut slide. And again, we're going to take the plate, we're going to line it up with the nubs here, and then it aligns with the holes. And then we'll obviously install the screws. Lastly, we have the RMR Type B, which again is showing these raised ZEV posts. Again, comparing it to the A right here does not have these raised posts. So you have to use this specific plate. And we're going to line that up right there. And for this one, you just push down and it's installed. And obviously we have to screw it in. Now, just to show you what it looks like, we're going to install it on this Glock 19. We're going to put that there. We'll get our 2 screws that are in bag, the yellow bag. And we're going to torque it to 15 inch-pounds according to the instructions. If you want a simple cheat sheet, we do sell these 15 inch-pound torque limiters. That's going to help us out here. So we'll just get that started. All right, now that we're ready to tighten, we're going to tighten it. And once we hear that click, we know it's at 15 inch-pounds. So this is what the plate looks like installed on the Glock MOS. And now we can install the optic. All right, now to install the optic, we're going to find the 2 black bags. They're right here. Now, one is M3 by 5 millimeters, one is M3 by 6 millimeters. So essentially what you're going to do is find the longer screw, that's going to be the 6 millimeter, obviously, and set those aside. One thing to note here is you're going to use 4 inch screws to install this optic to the plate. 2 go in the front and 2 go in the side here. That is definitely different from a traditional way to install optic, which is typically 2 in the rear. So just wanted to make note of that. You're going to install 4 screws, and that's going to make sure that this thing does not shift at all. All right, so here we have the MOS, and again, it just is going to go right on top here, just like that. It's ready to get screwed in. So again, there's the 2 in the front and 2 on the side. The 2 in the front are going to be the M3 by 5mm screws, so that's the shorter ones, and that's what we're going to start with first. Okay, I have them set up here. Note you will need a 2-inch T10 Torx bit so that you can get it in. And we're just going to tighten, and then I'm going to switch it out to the 15 inch-pound torque limiter to get this torqued to the 15 inch-pounds. All right, now we can do the sides. All right, so this is the 6mm M3 screws, and they're just going to go on the side, and then we'll tighten it. We're going to do that for this side and this side. So this is what it looks like fully installed on a Glock 19. And now that it's fully installed, the one thing I do want to show is the COA witness. And look at that awesome COA witness with factory height iron sights. Literally the only other optic that has a nice COA witness like this is the Holosun SCS MOS. So this is like super exciting that it does this. This is like the best feature in my opinion. I know it is an expensive optic, but you wouldn't have to replace your iron sights. That is just awesome to see. Very happy with that. Also, a quick side note, if you lose any of these screws, like I just dropped one on the floor, we do sell extras at freedomgorilla.com. Now, one thing I want to talk about and discuss is their unique ability to solve the issue of enclosed RMR optics. And essentially what that means is we get asked a lot by a lot of different people, what's up with RMR optics that are enclosed? How come they all look goofy or have some type of, gimmick to them? And that really is because the screws go before where the second enclosed window would be. So I think the perfect example is looking at the Trijicon RCR. It has these unique screws that you have to use with it. But for example, if you install that, the window's right here, the screws would go right here. Obviously you can't have an enclosed RMR optic if you have to use screw holes. So their way around it of using unique screws. Side of the optics got around that, but they have kind of almost like a unique looking optic here because the second window is right before where the screw holes are. So if you use that, that's essentially what the optic would have to look like. It looks a little squished. And that's why the Holosun 509T uses the clamping style. It's because the screws go before where the second window sits. So this chassis system is really a unique way of solving that. If they really wanted to, they could definitely create different optic footprints, like for the Walther PDP, HKVP9, CZ Shadow 2, anything for these popular pistol platforms. You just need one chassis system. So that's a really cool design that they came up with to overcome that enclosed RMR option. Now, one thing I really wanted to show is the HTX-1 next to the Aimpoint COA. So I have 2 Glock 19s here, obviously one with the HTX and one with the COA. And I just kind of wanted to show their COA witness and how they compare literally next to each other. All right, and just to show you the COA witness a little bit better, this is your COA witness with the COA. And here's the COA witness with the HTX. And then I do want to talk about the overall designs of this. Now, obviously the HTX is not as tall; it's more slimlined. If you do go with the COA, the one thing to know is that the Glock has the A cut on the slide here, meaning that you could only install this optic. You can only install the COAs, and right now they don't sell the COA separately, so you'd have to warranty the whole item there, and hopefully you wouldn't have to do that, but just be aware that if you do choose the Aimpoint COA, you're stuck with just this optic. Whereas if you use the HTX, it can go on any of the Glock MOS slides. As far as overall buttons and functionality, I'm fine with these buttons. I'm fine with these buttons. Really nothing to comment that's out of the ordinary. I think it's all super user friendly. The main thing I think is just the HTX has a bigger window and a better COA witness than the COA. All right, so after shooting with this, using it, playing it, doing everything I possibly could, here's my thoughts on this. I like this optic a lot. Overall, I'm pretty sure they made this optic to be like compatible with like law enforcement, military use, something along those lines, and it's just available for civilians if we want it. Same thing with like Aimpoint and Trijicon. They make these overbuild optics, mainly targeting like law enforcement and military. And if people just happen to want it, of course they'll sell it to you. So I think this is an awesome optic, and it being totally sourced in the United States is awesome. I think that's a huge trend that we will see, especially because of like the tariffs and everything like that. I think a lot of people will start trying to source stuff domestically. And I also think that the whole chassis system is a super cool design and definitely opens up a lot of potential to adapt to other platforms that are super popular. That's a really cool thing that is unique to this, and it definitely solves that issue that we see with enclosed RMRs. So that's a really cool like design feature. And like I said before, this was the optic I was most excited to see at SHOT Show. I'm still very excited even after like I have it in my hand now. Like it's awesome. Like I'm very excited for this optic and to see what it can do and like how it's going to influence other optic companies through sourcing stuff or coming up with like a unique system like the chassis system. The innovation part I really like. Like Primary Arms obviously did a lot of research to listen to their customers, and this is the result. And I'm very excited to see where the HTX line is going to go. Same thing with Primary Arms. This is more of like a premium optic for them. And I think in general, like a lot of people who shop at Freedom Gorilla and other like Primary Arms in general, do tend to get a lot of like the classic series, like we see that optic go. So from going from like the classic series to like a premium high-end model is very interesting. So I'm very excited to see the future of not only this optic, but Primary Arms in general, because they're like a fantastic company to work with. And like obviously Primary Arms with this is trying to compete with like a Trijicon RCR. Definitely a comparable between the two of them. I really like the chassis design. They're going to be the same price. They're like the $700-ish range. So definitely like on par with that level of optic. Again, everything on today's video can be found at freedomgorilla.com. And overall, my final thoughts on this are Primary Arms is not trying to have like a race to the bottom for like the most competitive red dot with this. This is going for performance. For someone who's willing to invest in a high-end optic, I think this is a fantastic option. It's obviously very thought out. It has an insanely secure mounting system. It has a reticle that actually helps you become a better shooter. 775 T6 aluminum body with steel plates. Again, everything is sourced in the United States. So overall, this is like a fantastic choice. Let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you on the next video.